Alright, folks, you know who it is. It's me, End of the Road Haunts, and Home Depot released their stuff, so I'm gonna talk about it because that's what I do. One thing to note, these videos are not mine. I got them from Mike W. on YouTube. And let's just get into them, honestly. One thing to note, this video is pretty much just my opinions. I won't be showing any of the demos in full. I'll have them playing while I'm talking about the animatronic, but Home Depot just really likes to yap in their demos, and so they're not only 2 minutes long, but like only 20 seconds of that is the actual animatronic. So I'm just gonna have them play over me talking. So yeah. Alright, so the first one we have to talk about here, one of the fan favorites, is, of course, the 12-foot Reaper. And when we first saw the leaks like months ago, I was a little cold on him, but honestly, he's pretty cool. I can see why so many people absolutely love him. And the only reason why I don't adore him is just because Reapers have kind of grown off on me recently. Like, unless they do something really cool and unique, it's hard to love them. For me personally, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. But this guy does do a lot that's cool. He has the color changing lights, which is great. The fact that you can like customize that. I don't know why Spirit doesn't do that in all their props. They really got to take notes. He has servos as well, which is cool. And not to mention the hovering thing, which for a Reaper is kind of perfect. And so as a 12-foot prop, he definitely does enough to make him one of the unique 12-footers. And that's what I like about Home Depot. It's like Party City will make an animatronic 12-foot just for shits and giggles, and it just makes no sense. Because it's like, why is this character 12 foot? But at least Home Depot gives kind of a reason to do it, and like they do just something interesting with the whole 12-foot gimmick. Like make him float on a scythe, for example, or like the Witch with the Broom for the years back. So yeah, I think that the 12-foot Towering Reaper is pretty cool. And for $300, pretty damn good deal. Alright, the next one we have is a weird one, which we didn't know was coming. The Marionette Witch. And I'm a little mixed on this one. I'll start with the negatives. It's a very family-friendly prop, obviously, and not really in the way I like. The face just doesn't look good. I don't really like her clothes very much. Her lines aren't good. However, her animation is really, really cool. And she is a marionette, which is cool to see. Would obviously go great with Bobby Strings. And I kind of hope that he has the same motion as her. He probably won't. But, like, she has a really good motion. Like, that's a really cool marionette motion. I just don't really like the whole, kid-friendly witch thing. But whatever. She's still a pretty cool piece. And for $100, like, by the way, she's only $100. That's pretty damn good. Like, Home Depot's just giving away their animatronics this year. And that's pretty sick, honestly. Like, for $100, hey, that's a pretty good deal in my opinion. Next, we have the Triple Clown Stack, who I didn't give my thoughts on back when he first got leaked a few months ago. Well, them, I guess. But honestly, I really like them, personally. Their phrases aren't great. I don't really like too many of their voices. However, honestly, in my opinion, you could fight me because you might think they look cheap and cheesy, but I think they look really cool. They have a very wacky-mole feel to all of them, so they'd go really well with him and like some of the other ones, especially that one of them has the hammer. And also, this stacking thing and the fact that like you can stack him or put him side to side is really, really cool. Like, that's just simply really cool. The fact that, like, you're not beholden to having only, like, one big animatronic or three smaller ones, but you can have them both, is such a cool idea, and I just wish, like, Spirit, for example, would incorporate more things like that. Home Depot does pretty well with that this year, how, like, you can kind of customize a lot of their animatronics, either with the lights, or, like, you'll see one a little later that you can make stand or sit. And I don't know, I just find these guys a really neat little group. And I believe that they're $200, which is a pretty good deal. So, yeah, I just like these guys. All right, for someone who has only seen the first Child's Play movie and wasn't the biggest fan of it, this Chucky is exactly how you make a license prop. Like, down to a T. Spirit's licenses are pretty good this year. They did pretty well. But, like, this is, unironically speaking, this could very well be the best license prop since, like, the 2011 Gemmy ones. And other than me not loving the Chucky character, that's the only reason why I don't absolutely adore this guy. Because, I mean, he is, like, movie accurate. Like, holy shit, they did well on him. Wow. And then you have the servos, which not only do his eyes move and blink, but he also seems to have, like, servos in the mouth to make him smile and stuff in a really creepy, uncanny way. And, like, he turns side to side, has the stabbing, and this is just, like, wow. If they, okay, I am hoping that Home Depot does more license props in this vein next year. Because, wow, if they do more, especially for other characters, these are peak license prop. He's also $200, which is a great deal, holy shit. Especially when you consider the animation. But wow, this Chucky is really surprising out of nowhere, but really damn good. I have, like, genuinely zero flaws for it. So, yeah, Home Depot, please make more licensed props. I'm begging you. Alright, the next one is another one that's kind of like the 12-foot Reaper for me, in the way that a lot of people really love it, and I'm a little more but I still gotta admit, the Night Dullahan is pretty cool. I mean, this is gonna sound silly, but a little while back, I had a dream with him in it. Like, he was in a haunt, and I passed by the haunt, and I was like, whoa, that's sick. And so, I definitely grew to like him. And he is pretty badass. We have seen a few Headless Horsemen from Home Depot, but this is probably maybe on the better side, for sure. Has a decent amount of animation, considering a lot of people thought he'd just be static. But, like, you know, he's 8.5 feet tall. He has the horse, like, rearing up. And, like, he's a really cool figure, honestly. I'm glad they're doing, more advanced, badass stuff. Well, he isn't necessarily scary. He's a cool Halloween thing. And as I've said, he's definitely one of the coolest animatronics of their lineup, let's say. Other than one of the other skeletons that's gonna come later. Alright, next we have the Deadwood 12-foot skeleton tree. And, yeah, this is definitely one of their lower points of the lineup for me. Just because, I mean, they had the Inferno Pumpkin, who I really like, and I know I glaze over the Inferno Pumpkin so hard. And this is, like, pretty much the exact same prop, except with different colors and a different head. So, I don't know. It just feels like, especially because Home Depot hasn't been cutting corners this year with, like, their servos and their details, and, like, they've been doing really well. This just feels kind of cheap and, like, meh. I mean, not cheap. I mean, it's a high-quality prop, obviously. Inferno is, but just in the way that it's like, oh, I don't know, remake that pumpkin guy. It's like, I don't know. If they, at least took the time out of their day to, while the body sculpt isn't bad, with it just being a recolored Inferno, I don't really see the point in this existing too much. I mean, in the video, Among Trees, it does actually look pretty good. But yeah, if they just sculpted the body a little differently, it doesn't even have to be anything different, just a different vine structure, I probably would have liked it a lot more. But yeah, it's not something that I really adore, personally. And I do think it's quite overhyped and overrated, but oh well, they have a lot better ones this year, and they are better ones this year, so yeah. So this here is the remaster of the 12-foot skeleton. Which, by the way, I've seen that they have one with servos, but I haven't seen a demo release for that, so I don't know what the deal with that is. But whatever, the servo is a cool addition to him. But I'm mainly just going to be talking about the different eyes. And that's pretty cool, especially for 12-footers that you pay so much money for. It honestly makes sense to have as much customization possibilities as possible. That, holy shit, that was clunky. That was a clunky sentence. But yeah, so it's really cool for you to have like different eye options to have him with. Especially, it makes it so you can display him in more displays than usual. You know, like if you have like a scary hell display, you can have the fire lights. Or if you're doing like a clown display, you can have him up there, throw a wig, and do like the, you know, silly, the spiral eyes. And so that's just really cool to have that customization. And I think going forward, this is something that they should definitely include in more props. And that brings us to our next one now. The 7-foot skeleton dog. And I've talked about this before as well. And my opinions haven't changed much. It has the changeable eyes, which is cool. But my opinion is just flat, easy. It's a fun prop. You know, I know like the family-friendly stuff isn't usually my cup of tea. But I think this is one of the better ways to do it, in the way it's not over the top and cheesy. It's just a fun guy. You know, like, especially putting him with a 12-foot skeleton, doing like the thing they had in the video where you have like the skeleton's arm in its mouth. This is just a fun prop, I gotta admit. It's just a fun prop to have in your neighborhood. The neighborhood kids will love it, the parents will find it fun. And while it's not something that I'd really get, I could maybe see it though. It's just a fun prop, and I gotta give it for that. Like, yeah, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's not anything crazy special, but I just like it. Next, we have the Servo Frankenstein, who we've seen before, got like released halfway to Halloween, and so there are a ton of demos of him already. I've already given my thoughts on him when it was just images. But yeah, the animation on this guy is great. He looks great for the most part. His audio is awesome. And I'd almost say that this is exactly how you make a licensed prop, with the exception that his clothes are not that good. Especially considering the next one we're going to talk about, it's clear that Home Depot does not skimp on the details, which is great. I love that. But they skimped on the details for this guy. His clothing is really cheap looking, and it's a bit like, come on, you could have tried a little harder. But other than that, his face looks great, the lights and the bolts are awesome, his animation's cool. Like, this is a really cool prop, especially for Frankenstein. This is like pretty much exactly what I would have asked for. And I've heard rumors he might be coming to Canada, and so maybe I might shift the list around a bit, let's just say. Alright, and the next one is one we saw a few months ago as well. The 7-foot animated Plague Doctor. And I want to get the elephant in the room out of the way first. The one thing that I do not like about this guy. Like, not a nitpick, like, it would have been better if he didn't have this. Like, a straight up, why did they do this? And that's how much lighting he has. And that may be like, you know, a silly thing. The lights in the eyes are okay. The lights in the lantern are near essential. And the lights in the staff are fine. But the LED wire looks so tacky on him. I have no idea why they added it. It doesn't look very good at all, in my opinion. Might look better in person, though. But that is the only problem I have with him. Because I just believe Plague Doctors should be very dark and dingy, especially with their themes of the plague. So if I got him, which chances aren't bad, I'd probably unplug those, to be honest. But other than that, this guy is solid as hell. He's 7 feet tall, which I don't know if I really would have done. I think he would have worked better as just 6 feet. But oh well. He's a lot more animated than I thought he'd be. He turns side to side, his head looks side to side, he shifts the staff side to side, he moves the lantern, and his detail is on point. Like, wow, he has the satchel and stuff. He is such a detailed prop, And for a Plague Doctor, I'm glad they didn't skimp on the detail. I really like it when they don't skimp on the detail for props, because detail is just, it's one of the best things an animatronic can have. If it looks good, like, that's honestly one of the best things an animatronic can do. And he looks damn good. His audio isn't the best. It's pretty cheesy Plague Doctor stuff, but at least it's Plague Doctor related. And I don't love his voice, but, I think the whole everything else pretty much makes up for it. So he's one, especially for $200 American, I could probably see myself getting. And next we have one of the new Pan Asian creation witches. Yay, everyone always asked for them, so here they have another one. But, in all honesty, I think she gets a little... well, here's the thing. Her audio isn't great, and she looks a little generic, but she has the eye on her hand, which is actually pretty cool detail. And she also seems to have a lunging motion, like the hand strikes out at you, which I must say, actually looks pretty fast and will probably be pretty startling. So that's pretty cool, honestly. And yeah, I mean, she's a cool enough prop, especially as like a more budget animatronic. Definitely, when it comes to budget animatronics, she's tenfold better than Night Terror. So that's what I'll say. But yeah, pretty okay piece. Next, we have the 7-foot animated Victorian vampire, who a demo got leaked a little while ago when someone found him on eBay. But he's a pretty cool one. He's a pretty cool one. His animation isn't anything too special, but then again, I mean, not every prop needs to have crazy servos and stuff, so whatever. But he does have a pretty nostalgic, like, Home Depot 2016 feel to him, which I like. And he's just a cool character. Like, it's great to have another vampire, and another good one at that. Because, I must say, I really prefer vampires to be less of the emo, slicked back hair like Dracula, and more of the, like, bald bat creature Nosferatu, Lord de Carnival things. And that's what this guy is. His clothing looks great, honestly. It's, like, pretty much exactly what I'd ask for from a vampire. His head looks great. His audio is okay, not the best. But, yeah, I mean, it's a really cool character. I can see why a lot of people really love him. Kinda including me. I think he's really good, too. And I just think he's a really cool one as well. Alright, next we have a pretty controversial one. Because his box got leaked straight up, I think it was yesterday, or the day before. And I found him pretty cool at the time. I knew he'd grow off on me, I just knew. And I will say, I like his height, honestly. Which is something I never thought I'd say for an 8-foot tall prop. But as a big, beefy, kind of chubby, big, scary clown, he definitely I really like his aesthetic of, like, just an 80s scary carnival, maybe even diner clown. Like, he reminds me a lot of Jumbo from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. In fact, now that I say that, that would be a banger custom. Holy shit. I'm sorry that I'm swearing so much. But that would actually be a really good custom, Jumbo from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So he definitely has that vibe to him. His face does not look good. I'll say that. His eyes are really off to the side, and so he kind of looks a bit like a pug. And I don't like his face. It looked a lot better on the box. So, yeah. His phrases are also a little, could have been a lot better. But, yeah, his animation's pretty cool, and as I've said, I really like his whole vibe of, like, an 80s Goosebumps clown, because it's a fine line between boring and generic and classic, and I just feel like he's more in the classic direction, and I can't explain what differentiates them. But I don't know, I think he's a pretty neat prop, but he has his fair share of flaws, that's for certain. The next one we have here is Captain Cuts, the Servo Pirate. And when he first came out, I was a little mixed on him, but honestly, his phrases are probably gonna be pretty cheesy, but damn, seeing his animation, this is like, wow. He looks he looks very much like a professional haunted house animatronic, honestly. Like, he's got some really cool animation. The side to side tilting, the servo movements in the face, like the eyes, and the servo head looking around. He has really cool animation, and in this video, his detail, especially his detail on the clothes, is a little but on the face is superb. Wow, he looks really realistic, and yeah, this is a really cool one. It's cool to have another good pirate after so long, and yeah, honestly, they're doing quite a lot of nautical props this year, and he's a pretty good one. Would go really well with like the low stuff, like the zombie fisherman and the captain and all that. So yeah, he's a pretty cool one. I can see why a lot of people really like him. Not 100% my cup of tea, but boy, I love that animation. The next one we have here, its box was leaked a few days ago, so we've seen it before, but it is the Fear Valley Wolf. And I already found it pretty damn cool when it came out, to be honest. But now that we've seen its animation, I really like it. Wow. Because it has that, like, they call it servo, and it is servo, probably. But it has that, like, Animotion Masks snarl to it, which I've always wanted to see in an animatronic, to be honest. And there it is. He's snarling, like, showing his teeth, and that's just so cool. I also just gotta say, I really like how it feels like an old Americana cryptid. You know, as someone who, like, finds cryptids really cool and watches a lot of Wendigoon, so I'm watching the cryptid iceberg because he's slowly working his way through that. This feels a lot like just an old American cryptid, and I find that really fun. The idea of just, you know, a weird black rotting wolf that you encounter on a trail that, like, eats their livestock and stuff. It just has that vibe to it, and I find that really cool. They've been doing a lot of messed up animals lately, like Cerberus from Spirit Halloween, Contaminated Kid from Party City, and this is a really great addition to that. I just really like its animation, and it looks cool. It's pretty big, and yeah, I mean, that's a lot to say, but this is a really cool character. I know that's a lot to say about just a simple wolf, but hey, it's really cool, honestly. Alright, I've said it a bit before, but I'll say it again. Now, we have, without a doubt, one of the hardest hardest animatronics of all time. Like, one of the just, like, the urge to make a Sigma out of this guy is eating away at me. Holy crap. Which is pretty silly and cheesy. But, like, dude, I mean, it's a lot on the sillier side. And sure, there are a lot more badass animatronics out there. But, come on. Gangster skeleton with a cigar and glass of whiskey. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This guy just needs an edit made of him. Oh my god. He's honestly one of my favorites of the lineup. You can also make him stand or sit, which is also awesome. I love to see that customization, just like with the clown stack. And, like, I gotta be honest, while I don't really like a lot of the more kid-friendly ones, Dean the Deathologist was kinda, in my opinion, which is quite an unpopular opinion. This guy's awesome. I love the Jacker Spades, dude. Like, oh, wow. You know, he's just such a badass gangster skeleton, and that's awesome. Alright, and the final one we have here, of course, might have missed a few, is the Soul Slasher, which we saw a picture leaked a few months ago. I kind of liked him. And we saw the demo leaked a few months ago. I really liked him. We saw him in the recent promotional video. I really liked him. And now we finally got his demo. And I really like him. Because I am very much in the boat of we need more original slasher animatronics. You know, like original Jasons, original Michael Myers. Like, non-licensed, just make your own serial killer Halloween companies, please. And Home Depot did. And granted, he's more of a scarecrow, but then again, Barnyard Butcher's more of a scarecrow, but I consider him a serial killer, so whatever. But Home Depot did, and he's pretty cool. I love how he points at you. It feels very menacing, like holding a sickle. Just, like, he's a genuinely threatening prop. And we've seen him in that one demo video, and he is huge. Like, he's a really big prop, and so that's awesome. And yeah, I just love having more original Psycho animatronics, and this is one of them, and that's really fun. And so, yeah, I think this guy's really cool, personally. I think a few other people do. He gets a lot of hate, but I don't know. I think he's one of the best of the lineup. But then again, 3/4 of the lineup are absolute bangers, and the other quarter are just kind of mid. There's no real bad ones. So, hell yeah. Home Depot did really well this year, in my opinion. Did they beat Spirit? It's hard to say, because they have different things going for them. But they definitely did a lot better on some aspects, like animation, the servos. And to be honest, they have some more unique concepts, like plague doctors, pirates. So, it's hard to say. Tell me in the comments who you think won. And, well, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell.